The devil's advocates whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood, blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall, one wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint? The jury's out, but the verdict's faint. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Crimes After Dark, and I'm super drowsy. My hours are completely screwed up. Robin, wave at me if you can hear me. It looks like Dago's backstage, but he's disconnected, so hopefully he's going good. Looks like we've got sound. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I got a lot of regulars in here. Amanda, we got Troubled Ocean on the East Coast, and somebody from Tennessee I saw was in here. So I love it when you guys shout out your locations as well. I love seeing the international crew, national crew, international crew, all of that stuff. It's great to have everybody in the house. It's funny because they talk about how I don't address my audience as much, and then somebody the other day said, I like your show because you don't spend a half hour addressing everybody on the channel, so I can't win. No matter what you do, somebody's going to be unhappy. If I don't acknowledge the audience, everybody by name, they're going to get upset. If I acknowledge everybody by name, they're going to get upset because I'm wasting time. It is what it is. Forget about it. Speaking of forget about it, Dago's backstage and he's in second position. Let's bring him up. I'll get into the news once we get our panel on stage. I know that, hey, Dago, what's going on?
Forget about it. It's a fugazi. Forget about it. Anyway,
welcome to you and your crew here. It's great to have our channels merged again. It's funny because I say we're merged, but I feel bad because the intro is all Devil's Advocates, but you're a major part of the show now, and I don't think your people should be left out.
I get it. You got to steal the show. Take all the attention for yourself. It's fine.
Oh no.
Just teasing. I'm just teasing.
Hey, well, the good news is, I mean, I know you're on live a lot, so you get plenty of one-on-one time.
I do.
So,
I do.
Yeah. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you and your audience taking time to be with us and making this show extra special with your presence. And so we're blessed to have you and your family with us. Your internet family. Yes. It's an amazing thing. We say it all the time, and I really mean it. It's special.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be part of this community. I've had many people come from here over to my community during the shows I'm at, and they're always saying we're part of the advocates now. So that's, and everybody over in my community feels the same. So and we accept all you guys the same way. So like I said the other night, it's just at some point I'm just going to stop saying it because I think we're all one.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's funny because as much, I don't want to swing off each other's Johnsons all night long, but I will say this, like almost every single time I go on with somebody isn't happy with who I had on. I don't think I've heard anybody tell me they're not happy with you being on the show. So it's a really cool thing. All right, let's bring Robin up on stage. Robin, looking away from the camera at the moment I put her on stage. How you doing?
Hello. How are you, gentlemen?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So great to be here. Another day of work done and one step closer to that 3-day weekend because Monday's the holiday. So
oh man. Speaking
what
of
holidays?
What holidays?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
Yep.
All right. So and here's the thing, like that's kind of a U.S. holiday, right? So like we have an international crew.
Yeah.
Do we take U.S. holidays off here at the? I think we just keep going and doing our thing. No disrespect
I'm not
for the
worried,
holidays.
Yeah.
No, I'm at my job.
However, I have to say this: as much as I say we don't take holidays off, we do take fucking NFL Seahawk playoff games maybe off. I haven't looked at the schedule, but the Seahawks are playing on Saturday in the playoffs. And I am not doing what I did last time, which was somebody telling me the score of the game before my show is over. So I don't get to see it. So if our show conflicts with the playoff game, the one and done, the playoffs are one and done, I'm probably not going to be there because
we won't see you.
It's important for me to be rooting my team,
okay.
not have to hear about it as a box score. I'd rather see it myself.
We'll keep it going.
Yeah, we'll
My
keep
feelers
it.
are out, so
yeah. So, hey guys, great news today. So I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm behind on all of our stories. You take one day off and I feel like I'm behind. Having said that, I believe here's some highlights I think I heard. Rex Heuermann's case is going to start. His trial is going to start in September, come hell or high water, I think the judge said. So
Yep.
We will be starting Rex Heuermann's case. That's interesting. I haven't read the legal document that the defense filed recently. I heard there's some interesting things in there. So I might do that on a live breakdown read of the documents or something like that, because I really enjoy reading the documents. I don't know if I'll do it privately and then make a video about it or do it live. Fuck, I'll do it live. I'm starting to enjoy lives. Dago's rubbing off on me ever since I've been hanging out with Dago. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, maybe we'll do a 3-hour live, maybe a 4-hour live. Shit, I don't know, a 7-hour live. Let's do it. 10-hour live.
10 hours. Fuck it all. Yes.
So there's that. There was another update in the case. Well, of course, we're waiting for Luigi Mangioni's decision on counts 3 and 4, which is going to be the death penalty, whether they're going to allow that or they take away the notice of intent. That's going to be a big one that's coming out soon. I think the judge also hinted they're about to rule on the admissibility of that arrest, whether or not the items that were obtained in Pennsylvania was a legal arrest or not. So that there's some big things coming up in Luigi's case coming up. Yeah. Tommy Boy Charm changed their profile pic just for me. Oh, now I'm curious. Is it a C? Oh, is that a Denver? Is that a Denver logo? What?
She's a Broncos fan, and her wife, Seahawks fan, is a Seahawks fan. So,
oh no, that's got to be horrible. That's got to be horrible.
Right.
Well, fair enough. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I like a little friendly ribbing. That's always perfect. So thank you very much. So yeah, the reason why I'm off, for those who don't know, very, very few people know, I was cramming for 14 CFR Part 107, the commercial pilot's license for drone pilots. So what that allows you to do, the test that I took today, and I was cramming for it yesterday, and I was cramming for it all this morning, and I drove 2 hours to a testing facility, was to see if I could be commercially licensed to fly a drone and share the footage on YouTube. Because if you're a monetized YouTube channel, you cannot show footage at all from your drone. If I'm a commercial guy, I can walk out there and film all day long and do whatever the hell I want to it. But if I'm going to make money, if I even show it on a YouTube channel that's monetized, I have to have a commercials pilot's license. So I studied for that test. I was absolutely terrified. When I got there, I thought I'm reasonably prepared for the test. And I was shocked to find that like at least 30% of the questions, like, what the fuck is that? Like, I never even heard that question. How is this on the test? Like, I don't even remember hearing that question. They asked me a question one time I'd never even heard, which is, how many feet apart can telephone wires be? And it was like 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet, or whatever. And I'm like, that wasn't even in my study material. I don't even remember that. Like, how do I fucking know how long a telephone wire can go? There were power lines. There was shit on that test I was absolutely terrified for. And so I trembled my way through the test. I hit submit and I passed. So I am very, very, very close now to being, and the only reason I'm not 100% a commercial licensed pilot is because I have to, the FAA has to approve my score and they have to vet me just a little bit. And then they give me a temporary certificate in 5 days or so. And then they'll give me a nice shiny card in, I think, like 6 to 8 weeks. But once I get the temporary card in 5 to 10 days, I can commercially fly my drone, and I can shoot footage. I can make money. I could hire myself out as a swinging dick for hire and do like realtor shots of people's houses that they want to sell, whatever. A little cockswagger on the side, if you will.
That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome for you. And congratulations, my brother. I appreciate knowing that you did. I can't wait to see the kind of stuff you're going to add to the channel too. That's going to be awesome.
I got to tell you, the first thing I was thinking, so in 5 days or so, I could have my temporary license, which allows me to fly. And I thought, oh, you know, I'm only a couple of hours away from Moscow. I could do a flyover of the scene from the air, just for shits and giggles. Now, I don't know how happy people will be about that. People do shoot at drones when they're in the air, by the way. And so I have to learn the rules about
Moscow. They don't like any of us over there. So it's kind of crazy. So good luck with that one.
All right. But anyways, I'm super,
well done,
I'm super
sir. We knew you were gonna pass. You're a smart dude.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I was terrified.
I'm excited to see the first crash. That's what I'm excited to see, because I know that.
Yeah. And you better record it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I record it or report it, because there's two different things. Sometimes you have to report it. See, that's part of getting a license, is knowing when I have to report a crash and when I have to not report a crash, and things like that. So, but you probably said record it. I'm going to try to record it. Yes, I'm going to try to record it, because I'm going to crash it. I'm going to crash it. And I'm terrified to crash it, because it's going to be expensive if I break the thing. But
I hope that doesn't happen. I'll say that much.
No,
but
you won't crash it. You'll be fine.
Testing stuff you were talking about, I remember when I took my first firefighter's test in my 36-hour class, because you have to take a 36-hour class and then a 240 class to become professional. And I studied like insane, because this was my career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I took my 36-hour test, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
During your drone, it's suspect
number one.
It was great, Amanda.
I'm gonna do that.
You have to do that. You have to do it. But I took the test, and there was like 12 questions on the test that they gave me that were not in the books. That was nothing I learned, trained, and I was like, I'm gonna fail, and I'll never be able to be a firefighter. Blah 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 blah. And it was stupid, simple, like common sense questions, which is why my captain said they did it. So you'll be all right. You'll be good. I promise you, you will be.
I got to tell you two things, and I don't want to bore everybody to death, because I know that you want to get into some crime cases. Although, again, I haven't had time to study, but I want to tell you two stories I thought was interesting. One, about the testing. I was irritated as fuck. Okay, I was irritated to find out I'm learning how to read aeronautical charts, right? And so much of the test is about what I can and can't do near airports. And I'm thinking, how about I just don't fly my plane near my drone near a fucking airport? How about just that? Like,
there you go.
If I don't want to fly near an airport, like, why do I have to know every level of airspace above an airport when maybe I could just not fly near an airport? That'd be nice, right? So I'm getting irritated, and I'm studying all these tests, and I'm learning about Class B airspace and Class C airspace and Class E airspace, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, and I'm learning how to read charts, like really complicated charts, right? And I'm getting better and better at it. And then I decide, for shits and giggles, I'm going to go look, hey, where can I fly in my hometown now that I'm getting ready to do it? Where can I fly? Because we got a couple of little small airports, right? So I looked up my area, and I think I understand the chart. I'm not quite sure. I'm like, okay, looks like I can, if I read this right, I can fly wherever the fuck I want in my hometown. This is great. Sure. So I wanted to double check myself. And so I was like, I found out there's an app, right? You can install an app called, I think it was like Autopilot or something like that. And oh my God, I just asked when I installed that app, I thought, why the fuck am I taking the test and learning how to read charts? You know what you do? You say, here's the location I'm standing. Can I fly here or not? It tells you all of the airspaces above you. It gives you a green checkbox. Yes, you can fly your drone here or not. Why the hell did I need to learn how to read charts when I could put an app on my phone and it'll tell you you can or you can't fly here?
Money. I'm telling you, it's about them getting money from you, period. That's what it's got to be. They want money.
It's insane. However,
awesome.
I learned a lot of cool knowledge. I mean, I got to learn a lot about pilots and a lot about what they deal with, and I learned a lot about airspaces. Very cool stuff
you
about
could probably
airspaces.
fly a plane now with all that. In my
a lot of it is
one.
the same kind of test. A lot of it is the same kind of test. And
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the same book I use is used for part of a pilot test. And it was kind of funny because here's another funny story real quick. I got two more little small stories. So there was a pilot in there testing. She was testing using the same book I was and testing for a pilot's license. And she's been flying a Cessna. Then there was another pilot in there taking a different test, but at the same time as me. And apparently this should scare everybody. All of the FAA tests only require a 70% passing grade, like a C student. Like you can get authorized to fly being a C student, right? And so even the pilot said, there's an old joke that when you're in a plane and another plane's coming at you, you think to yourself, I sure hope he got 70% questions right that I got right. Because we're both like we're both C students flying each other. Let's hope this goes well.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why Dago doesn't fly. There you go.
Right.
I will not get off the ground.
It's actually kind of scary to think about it when you think about how much damage can be done with a plane you could pass with the 7. But it's more than that. That's just the test, and then there's practical. You have to just put hours in with an instructor. So it's not really the full story to say it's just a C passing grade. But still, it's kind of spooky to think that. Man, I would want somebody to have a much higher score if they're going to fly a plane.
I tried one of those simulator things. It's like a game on my computer because I have a pretty decent computer, and I was messing around with this thing. And I'm telling you right now, it's a game, you guys.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about white knuckling and freaking out? I was sweating in a game. Like I'm going to crash into this and that, and there's planes coming at you. You gotta go this way and that way and understand this. I'm like, fuck this. I'm done. Never touch it again. No way.
They're extremely realistic. Those things are extremely realistic.
Yes.
I mean, you listen to real air traffic and you're
shaking while you're sitting here,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh no. Nope.
Let me tell you another story real quick. I'm pretty sure 1-1 will not be mad that I shared this story. So I was talking to a 1-1 and who's not going to be here tonight, unfortunately. He has some other things that are going on. But I was telling him about my test anxiety. And you might be able to relate to this, Dago. Oh my God. Did you know, like, for example, the captain's exam that they have to take to get promoted to a captain only gets given once every 4 years. If you don't pass that test, you wait another fucking 4 years to take it again. Like your life is going away, waiting to get another shot to take the test.
That's
Talk about test anxiety. Holy shit.
Fire department is somewhat the same sense that, like, to become a lieutenant, sergeant, captain, all that stuff, and we don't have all the levels that like PD has. Okay, and I was an engineer. There's a special test for that, but you can only take the captain and lieutenant's test. I think is every so many years, and you have to have a certain level of what do you want to experience or background under your belt to be able to even register to take the test. So that wasn't going to happen. I just stuck with my engineer's position, drove the fire truck, and played with the water, and I was good.
I couldn't even imagine having my next 4 years of my career on the line for a one-day test and go, well, if I screw it up, I got to wait another 4 years to take
4 years
test.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
that's crazy.
I couldn't. I want to be done with tests. I so want to be done with tests. I don't know what kind of retesting. I know that my pilot's license will be good. My drone pilot's license will be good for 2 years. I think I have to get recertified every 2 years. I don't know how hairy of a test that is.
I was going to say, you probably have, like, that's something I had, recertification.
Yeah.
That and medic stuff too. You have to recertify, and there's always in services that we had to take. CPR and stuff like that changes every three days. Different, all that kind of stuff. You just got to keep going and going and going and going, and it's never ending. Like, to this day, there's shit that I tested out on that gave me my license that I'm probably so far off the path with now that, you know, it is what it is. So.
And the last thing I'll say, because I don't want to beat this to death with the drone thing, but this is the other thing that drives me nuts. On the test, I'm learning how to do things like figure out what the atmospheric pressure is at my elevation, what the temperature is, and how that changes the adjusted altitude and all that stuff like that, and all of these different mathematical formulas and shit like that, and cloud, and I got to look up cloud cover because I can only fly 500 feet below cloud cover, 2,000 feet away. Here's the thing that's hilarious about all that: if I was a 15-year-old boy and I didn't want a drone's license, I just go outside and fly my fucking crop. That's it. I just gotta go out there and fly it. I just go out there and turn it on and fly it. Nothing else I need to do. But if I want to do it, I gotta go out there and check weather maps and weather reports, and you know, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I should be a 15-year-old kid, just walk out there and fly it. But if I want to put it on YouTube, I gotta learn all the regs.
I'll be honest with you, that's probably anxiety ridden stuff. But the worst test I ever took, the worst, no lie, was because I became part of the Trumbull County, the county I was working out of, hazmat team. Okay, and to do that, you have to memorize every placard, every combination of chemicals that there. I mean, there's a book this thick, folks, and I'm like,
yeah,
why? Okay. And then again, I tested to become part of the arson investigation team as well, and you have to learn chemical compounds and how to do this, and I suck at math. Like 1 + 1 is 2. That's all you get from me. I'm just telling you. And it sucks. It sucks really bad because these were all things that I wanted to take part in as part of my career, which I did get to do that. The arson investigation thing, I didn't get to do much in because I ended up getting hurt and had to retire. But the hazmat thing is very cool, but it's very scary because when you start learning about these things, you're like, holy shit, I'm surrounded by this stuff. And at any moment, something can happen and bye-bye everybody. You know what I mean? So it freaked me out a bit.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's a huge weight off my mind to be done with the test. Yes. We're good for a couple of years. What does that add to the channel? I don't know yet what it's going to add to the channel. I will tell you this. It seems like people really like boots on the ground. When we went to Moscow and walked around, just walking around and filming with my chest camera, people were super excited about that and found value. In fact, we had people, attorneys like the custody queens, come on and break down the videos and go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you got this footage. So how much cooler will it be to maybe add some aerial footage? So maybe it'll be a good thing.
I think it'll be awesome.
I can already tell some areas that are going to be really important to fly over. So
Delphi,
I'm excited. Yeah, Delphi. Yeah. Delphi's a perfect example. Yeah, Delphi's a perfect example. Yeah. And then you got to learn it. You know, and then I learned all the rules, right? Because technically, where the bodies were found were on private property. So then the question comes: are you allowed to fly over private property? Yes, any airplane's allowed to fly over private property. Now, what happens if I lose battery control and my drone falls on Ron Logan's property? Well, I may or may not see that drone ever again because it's not my property. So I got
depends on who owns it now, because since he died, I don't know who got the property anymore. So
yeah. So I'm excited to get out there and start filming. My wife and I already have plans to start flying recreationally to get practice and start practicing what it looks like to film with that, so that when I get my actual pilot's license given to me in a couple days or whatever, a few days, then we'll be able to actually do anything we want and put it on and show it to you guys, to show you what footage looks like.
That's awesome.
So I can't even show you what the footage looks like until I got that commercial license because of a monetized channel. So unfortunately, that's part of the problem. But anyways, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? Again, we're kind of open season. I'm tired of kind of dragging my ass because I was up late and I was studying and I have the stress. And now that emotional dump is hitting me, right? Because now I'm like, oh, no more having to pass the fucking test. I'm done.
Here's a way for you to earn some money.
Yeah, Tandy said you can do her groceries for her.
Yeah, I cannot drone. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to hear all this. I can't drone anything for anybody because the drone that I've got like by a half of a gram falls under the weight limit for category 1. I can't put anything on that or carry anything with going over the limit for category 1. I can fly, I think, up to category 4 drones. So I can get much bigger. I can get up to a 55-pound drone if I want to fly it with this license. So already I'm like, ooh, what drone should I buy next? I got to get a bigger drone. Everybody wants a bigger drone. It's not just the size of your drone. It's how you fly it. So, I mean, maybe a good sized drone would do better. Anyways.
So not only is his drone already bigger than mine, he's going to get an even bigger drone than mine. So he'll still be bigger than my drone.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let everybody see me playing with my little drone for a while. So it'll be all right. So I'm excited to put it up in the air and see how that goes. And
Yes.
anyway, so you guys were talking about, we were talking backstage. I don't know if you guys want to talk about Idaho 4, but it seems like, again, the hottest case. We've been bantering around. Oh, yeah. So I heard you guys were talking about today other people that died around the fraternities and sororities, like Hudson Lindau and Hannah Cleary. Maybe we want to talk a little bit about, like I think you were telling us everything's locked down. Like you can't get public records request on Lindau's death. What the fuck? It's just a drowning. It was just a drowning. Why is there a public records hold?
Everything is sealed. Everything. You cannot touch a damn thing in the Hudson Lindau situation. And it's crazy to me. Like and it's been that way the whole time. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe given some time, it'll be set free or whatever. You know what I mean? Nope. You still can't get it no matter what. And listen, you guys, I don't care what anybody tells me at this point. If that was an accidental drowning, he fell and hit his head on a rock and passed out in the creek and drowned. Bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that they're gonna seal his autopsy, toxicology, and the reports and everything in itself over an accident. Come on. No. Nope. I won't believe it.
And that's the thing. Like, why is the public not allowed to ask for what they've got? Why are they allowed to hide all this stuff? I don't understand what allows them, because again, there's laws that they need to. Here's the thing, to try to educate the public, from my basic understanding, we're taxpayers. We fund police departments with our taxpayer money.
Yep.
Therefore, we are paying for their services. We have a right, therefore, as the public, to know what they're doing with our taxpayer money. They can't just. So in theory, they can't just say, fuck you, you don't get to know what we're doing with your money. No, we're paying your salary. We do get to know what you're doing with your money. And yet they got all these laws hiding them to say, nope, we don't have to tell you what we're doing with your money. The answer should be, then maybe you shouldn't get our money. Because if we're not knowing what you're doing with our money and making sure you're using it judiciously, then maybe you shouldn't have our money.
Right. So on that being said, even though I know your polls are always bigger than mine, I want to do a poll. I want to do a poll on this one right here. Why do you think Hudson's info is sealed? So I'm going to go with that as the question. And
what are you going to give for options?
That's what I'm thinking. Is it? I don't even know. That's why I'm asking you. What do you think should be in? Because you're the poll king. So
the poll master. I'm trying to pull it up so I can actually do a poll. And I got to remember if I know how to. As Lindau, just Lindow.
I just wrote Hudson's, but yeah, Lindow. Yes.
Okay. Why would Hudson Lindau's death be what they call it?
It's all sealed. Every bit of it's sealed. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be the question. Why would Hudson Lindau's death still be sealed? How about that? Death.
There you go.
So why would Hudson, and when was his death? It was like
2018, I think, 18? Or 2019. 2019, yeah.
So I'm going to let's come up with some.
Or no, wait. Hold on, stop. I got that confused. Hudson's was 2021. Sorry.
That's what I thought. And I think Hannah Cleary was 18 or something.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I got him confused today. Anyway, my apologies, guys.
No, but usually I'm the one that gets that wrong. So I'm glad that it wasn't just me today. So, okay. Why would Hudson Lindau's death still be sealed? Because it's related to Idaho 4. Let's do that as an option. Because the university is hiding it, hiding the details. University is hiding it. Oh, I can't put that long of an answer. You can do it. You can do it because the university is hiding it. I don't know if that makes sense to people. Okay, so far I got, why would Hudson Lindau's death still be sealed? Because it's related to Idaho 4, because the university is hiding it, because they can. How about because they can? Because they can. Because Idaho just seems to want to hide everything just because they can.
Yes.
Is that just good enough? 3 answers? Or do they need another one?
Idaho University is hiding it because they can, or family lockout. Like maybe the family has some kind of an influence over it.
Or I was gonna say I was going to protect the family, or because family
Family doesn't want to release, so I'll just put
okay.
family influence.
Family pressure.
There you go.
I don't know if that makes sense to people. So let me see if we can run this down and explain it a little bit before we fire this poll off. Why would Hudson Lindau's death, and again, this was labeled as a drowning death in a fraternity, a young man who was found in a shallow creek of water, if I believe, that they said was an accidental drowning. Some people have theorized that it was a hazing, over drinking situation, or he was even injured. He had a bump on his head, I think you said. So the question is, when we look into public records requests about what really happened to Hudson Lindau in Idaho, near University of Idaho, why are they sealing it? Why is it still sealed and the public can't get details about Hudson Lindau's death? Is it because it's somehow related to the Idaho 4 case? Is it because the university itself is hiding the truth about it because it'd be embarrassing to Greek life and stuff like that these kind of things are happening? Is it just because they can, and Idaho just literally gives the middle finger to anybody that asks for anything? Or is it some kind of family pressure, like Hudson Lindau's family's connected and they've asked for it to be sealed?
There you go.
And it's in protection of the family. All right. I'm ready when you are. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's go. Fire.
Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole.
There was a comment that I was following that I missed. Niles Buckman or so ever. I think I hope that wasn't. You don't think I'm ignoring you? I wasn't ignoring you. I just now saw you, sir. If you're still in here, I don't know where it went, but okay. Either way,
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. Wow, that's moving quick, and that's weird.
Oh, Hannah wasn't 2018. Hannah was 2022, according to Amanda. So
was it?
Yeah, I thought it was 18, but she says it was Hannah. Hannah was born November 15th and passed away February 24th, 2022, at the age of 21.
I'm thinking of Joseph Witt. That's the one that happened in 2018, I think. Whitcomb or something like that. I went through so many things today. The dates are screwing with me bad.
So we don't have big numbers tonight, so we're certainly not going to wait for 100 votes like we have done on other nights. I'm running right now about 77% say because the university's hiding it.
I got 50% said university is hiding it, 31 saying it's related to Idaho, 13 said family influence, and 6% said because they can.
Wow, so we got a little different split. Not terribly much, but a little different split. But we got a big, heavy 77% university, 8% because it's Idaho related or Idaho 4 related, 8% because they can, and 8% for family pressure. So we're split all along the others, but a heavy push towards the university's hiding.
Definitely. And it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, these cases, and again, I've got public records requests into on his death, on Hannah's death. There's been rumors around for forever about people that were pissed off and wanted revenge for Hannah. Again, there's the rumor. All of this is rumor. None of this is anything but rumor mill. The rumor that maybe Jack DeCour was friends with Hudson Lindau and actually encouraged him that night to overdrink, and it killed him. And then the rumor has it that when Kaylee found out that Jack was partially responsible for Hudson's death, then she broke up with him and said, "I didn't want to have anything to do with you," and that led to the breakup. And that, and then was that what I told Adam everything? I told Adam that Jack killed Hudson Lindau. Like, it's pure rumor, but would it make sense?
It kind of locks down some of the questions and some of the maybe things. It would make some sense. And again, the cover up would be the university hiding something like this because they don't want, bad publicity. And again, guys, let's think about who Jack DeCour is again. First off, he was suspect number one. Mm-hmm. Second off, his family is very influential. They pretty much built Coeur d'Alene. Okay. Jack DeCour Delane. Okay. And there's a lot of reasons why this could be being covered up to some aspect. I'm just saying, and it sure would make some things make some sense. I'll just say that much.
I want to ask you about that, but I don't want to ever come across as like I'm challenging. I'm just asking for my education. No. So I started to look into the Coeur d'Alene thing too as well, because I actually had that thought. I'm like, what is the odds Jack DeCour and Coeur d'Alene isn't related? And they are related, at least from what I understand, in the aspect that Coeur is a French word for heart.
Yeah.
DeCour is of the heart. Coeur d'Alene is like piercing the heart. So they're both French derivatives. But the part I couldn't factor in is the part that you said, was because I'd heard that too. Many people said
That's
the
all.
Coors,
That's a rumor. Let me tell you, I
was
learned that from hearsay. Yes.
yeah. And so when I looked into it, here's what I got bothered. So here's what we did. We looked into Jack DeCour's parents and what houses they own.
Mm-hmm.
And they own tiny houses, something like 1,300 square feet. Like, and I'm like, well, if they're a big money family, why don't they have big houses? So then I began to question, like, well, are they a wealthy family? Because they have tiny places.
See, I wondered that too, Lee, because when I heard that the Gonsalves family gave him a car to drive, and I'm thinking, well, he must not have very much money if he can't buy his own car, or his parents didn't buy him a car.
Right. So I don't know the answer. I don't know if the DeCours are heavily connected. I don't know if they're money. I don't know if they're disconnected because their name runs heavy in the community.
I was told it was more along the lines, and see, this is why I probably should put in, like, rumor has it. I should say it that way.
A lot of what we're talking about is rumor.
Yeah, that his grandparents, like the older
generation,
are the ones with the money, so per se. So. But you would still think that it would fall down onto the younger generations. I don't know. It may not even be true.
Yeah, and like my wife was saying that my wife found that the DeCours are teachers, right? And so teachers don't make a lot of money. Like teachers don't make big money. So like, but you're right. Like maybe we didn't go far enough back in the generational tree. Maybe the DeCour family has got a lot of money because, and that's possible too. And I guess what does that sound like? Does it sound like we're a bunch of like whiny little wealth envy people that if you have money you must be corrupt? Like, is that what we're like? We're not want to try to suggest that. But when you have money and influence and you know people tend to, here's the reality, people tend to look away. If you've got a lot of money and you're bumping elbows with the chief of police and you're like, man, my son's name keeps coming up. Hey, don't worry. Nobody's going to look into your son. We got it. Your kid's a good kid. We're not even going to go down that route. Like that's the kind of favors that happens when you know people. It's like, hey man, my son's really stressed out. People throwing his name around. Don't worry. We're not going to take your son seriously on this, because it's just a good
one of the big things to add to what we were saying, guys, that bothered me the most about the Hudson Lindau situation. Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan were all there with Hudson the night that he died, before whatever happened, along with Mr. Jack Showalter. So,
oh my God,
hearing that walk home or walk to the grub truck that night, and it just made my head start to spin. When they said, she says, Maddie, what'd you say to Adam? And she said, I told him everything. And Showalter supposedly says, they're going to get you for that, Maddie. That was like, wait a minute. It just, I hate these brainworm things, guys. I hate your case, but it makes things the gears start to turn faster. And it's like, oh shit. Maybe it is that simple. Maybe it is that simple that something like that happened. My biggest issue with this is the cover-up side to this, okay? And the Brian Koberger side to this. Why? If that was the case, why? There's got to be a reason why they would hide this and cover this up. That's my biggest issue if that's the case, okay?
Right, and it's the question you must ask. Like,
yes,
going on a crazy, I shouldn't even say crazy, but going down a conspiracy question line needs to always be, why would they do that? Don't just tell us, it's a, like, for example, my biggest pet peeve, it's a witness extraction situation, but there's no explanation why they would do it. Just, they just do it because they like to fuck with people. Okay,
just because they can.
Right, because they can. Like, if that's our logic, that they just do it because they like to fuck with people, I'm probably out. Like, give me a good why. Give me, and if you can give me a why that makes, that's why they would do it, to protect millions of dollars or to protect this family, whatever, then you've got a why and it has teeth to it. But I have to have a why. For me, I have to have the why. So,
and that is because I never heard this, you guys. I listened to it backwards, forwards 3 million times to hear what Jack Showalter said. Never heard it. I never heard him say clearly anything, but everybody swears up and down that that's what he says. I also even heard, I'm not going to say his name because it jinxes people, or it jinxes things, but he said that he heard something about it, the end zone or some shit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, whatever. Dumped you guys for this or something like that. Then they did some shit like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? But whatever. Like I said, I could not clearly hear anything. So therefore, I don't know how anybody else did, because I had headphones on. I had my head inside my computer pretty much trying to hear this. Nothing came out of that. I didn't hear him say a word, you guys. And anything you see on the screen is suggestive. We know that. We know that you can put something on the screen and you hear exactly what you see on the screen, in my opinion. So,
and Tommy Boy Charms, talking about the Kristen David, U of I student who went disappearing or riding her bike. By the way, I've looked into that a little bit as well. I mean, there's a lot of mysterious deaths / flat out murders that have been happening in that area. There's a show, and I haven't watched it yet. I got to find it again. There's a small, I want to say relatively low watched documentary about sex trafficking across Washington and Idaho. And I need to watch that because someone told me that's going to open your eyes to what's happening in the whole Washington Idaho connection. And I'm like, well, I mean, we are talking in the Idaho 4 case about that symbiotic relationship between Idaho and Washington across the border. And when you start looking into a bunch of mysterious deaths in the area, maybe I need to look into what this documentary is talking about, but we'll see. The problem with all these things is we could make a story about a million things.
What is that called again?
I don't know. I don't remember the name of the documentary. I'm looking for. I forgot what the name. Hopefully, one of my people in the chat will say it because I got it from somebody in the chat and they told me what the name of the place was. The documentary. I've got it in my notes somewhere, but fuck if I can remember where the hell it's at.
I remember hearing about that too, and I just can't remember the name of it either. That's why I was like, what was that? I was hoping you'd throw it out. But there's a lot more people than what we've even said tonight. Emma Sims, I think. There's another name. There's Jason Gray Jason Gray. Guys, there's a bunch of people that just things happen to, and it's always in this area. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We could go on probably for 3 weeks.
There.
What's that?
I said, no wonder there's a task force there. Do they just sit there like forever? I mean,
right. And you know what's funny is the one that happened in 2018. I'm sorry, Robin, I didn't mean to stop.
That's okay. Go ahead.
But in 2018, the one that went, I think it was Joseph. Okay, the chief of police was somebody completely different than James Fry. So usually, when listen, in my town, my police chief here has been the police chief for 32 years. Okay, my grandfather, when my grandfather was chief of police, he was chief of police for 15 years. So they usually hold that position for like more than a year or 2 years or whatever. It's just weird that like they've rolled through so many, you know.
I did find this is not the documentary, by the way, that I was talking about, but there is a documentary. I'm going to put it on screen here. I'm going to show it to you. We're going to do it live.
I'll watch it either way. If it's the right one or not, I'll still watch it.
Remove that, add this. So documentary called Red Light, Green Light. And it's the message of Red Light, Green Light is a documentary film set to be screened at the Little Panda Theater. It has to do with sex trafficking across Idaho and Washington. That's one of the key point of it. And it was, what did it say when I was looking at in ChatGPT? It said it was screened in North Idaho Sandpoint area. It's commonly referenced in context of sex trafficking along Idaho, Washington's region. This is not the one I was talking about, but it is one about it. So that might be something we want to look into. Red Light, Green Light documentary film about sex trafficking across Idaho, Washington border. The filmmakers examine countries with legalized prostitution, buying and selling drugs, in the Nordic model. Okay. Anyways, what were you going to say?
I'm excited. I just got my daughter just sent me. My book will be here tomorrow. I went through that book you guys have been talking about, Framed.
Oh yeah.
And I went online. You can read bits of it online, and I read pieces of it, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And she was like, she's a book person. She's huge on books. And I asked her if she had heard about it. Next thing you know, she was like, it's coming to you. I said, thank you. So it'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, my daughter's a book nerd. Big time.
I got to finish the last 2 cases. The first three cases stunned me so much that I was just like, I'm ready to take a break.
Number 2 case is the one it allowed me to read like almost 3/4 of the way through. I was like, and one brought that one up last night. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy stuff. So I can't wait till it gets.
They're all crazy. It seems like they're all absolutely crazy stuff.
Yes.
It was number 2, the one about the coroner that was getting everybody convicted, or was that
Yes.
number 3?
Yeah.
The coroner.
Number
the coroner,
2 is that. Yeah, that's the one he brought up, and I was like, Jesus, that's crazy shit.
How many people went to jail because of one coroner who was fucking just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, one person did all of
Yeah.
that, guys. It's insane. Like, I didn't get to read the rest of the whole full story on that one, but I can't wait to read the whole book. I can't. I literally can't.
It should stun people. It should stun people. It should really bother them.
It should open your eyes to stuff like what we talk about, Lee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you see what's in some of these stories, like I said, it gives me little excerpts from each story, and then that one gave me a big amount. And I'm reading like just pieces. It's like a teaser so bad too, because you're like, you want to read the whole story, and it tells you this, and then it stops. But you can Google it; it'll probably tell you that. Yeah, but which is how I found it. But anyway, it makes you. I think, I'm sorry, but I think it'll make you open your eyes to this case and like Delphi and a couple other cases and go, if it can happen this many times to this many people for these reasons, then I'll be damned if it can't happen in this case. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right, exactly. Just I'm
excited. It'll be here tomorrow.
Let's see. DA Dago Robin, look up the interviews John Grisham has done about the book. He did a great one on The View. Whoopi told him that she was so upset after the first one she had to wait.
I have another one that I have from the same she sent me as well. It's called The Innocent Man by John Grisham.
Oh, yeah.
And I read the backstory on that. It looks really good. I can't wait to read that one either.
Did you hear the rumor? It was like John Grisham was going to write a book about the Idaho 4.
I heard there's a rumor, but I hope he doesn't, because when Patterson did what he did, it pissed me off because I used to like James Patterson.
Right.
Yeah.
Books, and I have a couple of them, but after that,
right.
No way.
Yeah. Like, will you trust him to handle it right? Yeah.
Was it called Groomed, Exploited, and Controlled? What Human Trafficking really?
No, I think it might be this one. Called In Plain Sight, Stories of Hope and Freedom.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Well, Tomboy just sent me here. I'll send you this link anyway, just in case you want to check this out. I'm going to put it in the back chat. This is another one. It looks pretty interesting. It's a podcast, I think.
Oh, thank you. And we'll put it up on, add it to Backstage and I'll grab it. My wife sent me a link too when I was in the car getting ready to take my test. And I was like, I can't deal with this shit right now, Rhonda. I'm taking a test. But she's like, all right, I'll send it to you. So I haven't even looked at it yet, but
it says human trafficking in North Idaho is real. Discover Angie Sador's story and how Safe Harbor helps survivors reclaim their lives. So it looks very interesting, and I'm definitely going to check that out. Thank you, Tomboy.
Well, my wife said she sent it to me, and now I don't see it. She said there was new news about the Chapins going into business with Othram Labs and doing another connection with somebody that she's going to make her life purpose now, helping convict people with cold cases and the new science that's going to lead the way to convict people. And I was like, I knew that she's going to partner with another company other than Othram. And she said, yeah, I'll send you the link. And I'm like, oh, here we go. But yeah, it's kind of like how what's his face launched his career after his son was killed. John Walsh.
Which he turned out to be quite not who he projects himself to be. I found out. I was really surprised at that situation.
Right, that launch. I mean, it sounds horrible, but the death of his son launched him into a major figure. I mean, he became the face of America's Most Wanted, and everybody wanted to have a part of him. And now it seems like the Chapins are kind of doing the same thing because of the death of their son. They're going to be promoted by every major true crime lab processing thing to be the face of the lab, using the tragedy in a positive way. And of course, if YouTubers use the tragedy to talk about injustice in America, we're a bunch of pieces of shit, but everybody else can apparently make it a career move. But anyway. I digress.
I'm looking. I don't see it. I just probably can't find it, but I'm looking for anything new on Stacy. Jim doesn't say much of anything. He just kind of sits there and nods. He doesn't interact much of anything, but I don't see it yet. I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I was trying to remember Stacy's name. Stacy Chapin. Yeah. And Aram, I think Aram was the name of the company, not Othram, but Aram. New partnership. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if I can grab it too live. It's funny because normally I try to just keep things moving and I don't like to search for things live. But
that's why I was trying to look for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I was looking up, but I'm not finding anything.
All I'm finding is about her partnership with Othram Labs. That's why when Rhonda said it, I was like, is it something new? It sounds like you didn't say Othram. Is she with another company now? She's like, yeah, it's not Othram. It's something else. I'm like,
oh, wait a minute. I think I might have. Where'd it go? Where's the wording on this? Come on. It gave me son of a boo-boo. Hold on. Oh, no. That was the original from November 19th about, or no, wait. Stacy Chapin, the Law and Crime, maybe did something about it.
No, it doesn't. Well, I don't know. Like I said, it was something I heard about. My mind was on test taking, so I didn't even.
No, this is not it.
What you just said has got to.
This is the Othram situation, is what I was just looking. I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah, Rhonda says she can't post the link, but the problem is she said she sent it to me on Facebook, and I just logged into Facebook and I don't see it. So, if she had it on Facebook, I could pull it up and we could just read it. But
does it give her? Does it give her a like a source name, a source name?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the article that she said she was going to send to me, I don't see it, so I can't pull it up to read it.
Oh, Courtroom Insider. I got you. Okay, sorry about that.
Courtroom Insider. It's there, she says. Well, did you send? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe she sent it not to my personal account, but to me at the Devil's Advocates. Give me it. So cover me, talk or something, and I'll go find it. Let's see.
Yeah, she's really raking in the money, isn't she?
And
that's
you know what?
Okay.
I agree. Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, nope, I can't find it either. I'll just let him look for that. But no, I have issues, you guys, and I've said this before, especially with like the Chapins in this WSU lawsuit. And I said this last week when we were talking about it on my show. I said the Chapins didn't have anything to do with this case. Nothing. And they said they were out of it. They didn't want to be involved in it. They didn't want nothing to do with any of this. They just wanted to heal and go on with their lives. Okay. And I respected that. I get that. Okay. I understand you guys aren't the type of people like the Gonsalves that come out and do this and that. But then the WSU lawsuit gets filed. And I said, now, if this were to be settled out of court for money, okay, I'm going to call it a cash grab. That's going to be my issue. If they take this to court and they get it and it doesn't get tossed or anything and it goes to trial, my issue now is if they show up, if the Chapins show up in court for this and they wouldn't go to court for anything else, I'm going to have a problem with that too, because it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look right to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a big problem. Okay. You got it, Lee?
I do. And I think it was a misunderstanding or a typo. I'll show you exactly where it comes from. This is what it is. Courtroom Insider's post. In a powerful and emotional turn, Stacy Chapin, the mother of Idaho murder victim Ethan Chapin, has joined forces with cutting-edge forensic company Aram to push justice in the future. Yeah. But she's on screen with the Othram Labs person, and I was there at CrimeCon when she announced it. So somebody has typed the name wrong as Aram, which made me think it was a different company. It's Othram.
Makes sense.
That's a typo. Yeah.
I was going to say that's the Othram article that I went through, but yeah, I got you.
All right, let's bring Joe up. Joe from State of the Deep is backstage. We're going to bring him on screen.
Good eye, though, Rhonda. Good eye for catching that.
Yeah, thank you, Rhonda. Don't hesitate to send that. What's going on, Joe?
What's up, everybody? What's up, DA? What's up, Robin? What's up, Dago? Dan, Meatballs. Good evening.
Hello.
Good to see you, brother.
I heard you guys talking about books, and I just subscribed to the guy who wrote the book about Kristen Pfaff. You know, from Cole.
Yes.
He has the book, and he released it as a thing on Substack where you also get like her demo tapes and you get like some additional media content. So I just subscribed to that. I have not started it yet. I just subscribed to it yesterday. It's like $30 for the year, But I thought that'd be an interesting little
definitely
thing to dig into.
Yeah,
I'm so far. I love books, and I'm so far behind on my One Nation Under Blackmail book. I stopped. I mean, I was doing regular updates, and then the audience kept dropping lower and lower numbers, and so I said, "Oh, I'll put it on the side," and then I haven't finished it. And I want to finish that book because it's a fucking great book.
I warned you though, DA. That's a really dense book.
It's a deep book. Yeah.
It's really
I like book reviews, and I like to do them for the channel. I especially like doing them for members only to give extra bonus content. But there are only so many hours in the day, and when you're covering 5 cases, and then you're studying for a drone pilot's exam, and you're scheduling a trip to Indiana to go put boots on the ground in Kentucky and Indiana, and it's just like, when do I find time to do reading books?
You got a lot going on. Yeah.
Well, good job on the exam, DA. Now the skies are going to be a little more dangerous.
I know. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm really excited about it, actually. Super excited about it.
Well done.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's tomorrow. She said, I'm excited. I got Framed. It'll be here. And The Innocent Man by John Grisham. Both amazing. I can't wait. You might not see me for a while because I'm going to be reading the hell out of both of them.
Yeah. And I think Essie was saying, I hope you finish. I do want to finish those books. I do want to rededicate and I'd like to keep doing books like that. It doesn't, here's the thing. I want to read these books. I got books that Joe has recommended I haven't even touched yet, like Chaos, that I haven't read yet. I got to read Chaos. There was another book I think he recommended, and I was like, holy shit, I got to read that book too. And so I want to read these books because they really inform my cases.
Hello. I'm here now. You can give me some of these ideas, Joe. Come on now.
Yep.
And I got tons of recommendations. Chaos, you've already read Chaos.
Yeah, Chaos is a whole different story. I know that one.
That's a good read.
Yes.
You know, it's not
I could read that one more than once, truly.
Yeah, it's not just an interesting and riveting topic.
No,
it's an entertaining read.
Yeah.
Because of the way Tom O'Neill approaches it, and to preface, because a bunch of people asked me about the book in the chat the other night, he was writing for Premiere Magazine. He was a freelance writer.
Oh, really?
In LA, and so the anniversary of the Manson murders was coming up, and he got assigned to do an article about it. So he started researching it, and he was uncovering all this shit. He had so much information that it was way too much to do in an article, and he ended up going way past it. They gave him an advance, and then they sued him because he had so much information that he couldn't clip it down to an article, and it's a crazy story, but I highly recommend that one.
Yeah, that's a great book, and I thought he was an author, but yeah, anything you got though, Joe. Now, here's the thing. I got to be honest with you guys. My mods know this. Because I don't sleep like human beings, and I'm always here. If I pick a book up and I start reading it, I may get through a chapter and I'm snoozed. I'm completely out. And then I'll wake up and I'll go through another. So it takes me a while to read a book, guys. It truly does. Like I got 3 new Stephen King books that I haven't even touched yet because I'm afraid that I'll start reading it and I'll get pissed because I won't get to finish the book. I'll have to stop, put it down. Because when I read, I don't like to put them down. I just want to read the whole thing. So,
yeah, I used to read nonstop and literally like 2-3 books a week.
Yeah,
for years and years and years. But then I just, with my job now and stuff on the weekends, I don't have as much time to just blow through books.
Yep.
So I go through them piecemeal, like here and there and here and there, and it's frustrating because you lose the thread if you put it down for too long.
Yes.
It's funny how us true crime people probably all loved Stephen King books, Dean Koontz books, those kind of things. Like we grew up in, it wasn't just true crime, but it was like the whole murder genre. We got into that whole thing. Something happened to me and I got ruined a couple decades ago. I know, because I'm so old now, I think in decades. A couple decades ago, I used to love reading Stephen King books and stuff like that. And I would just absolutely love them. And something happened in my mind where I can't read fiction anymore, because whenever I read something in a fiction book and somebody, even if it's a fictional character, they'll say something and I go, wait a minute, is that really fucking true? Is that how something works in real life? And I'll go off researching something in real life that was part of a story as a piece. And I'm like, wait a minute, do police really really do that? And then I'm off on real shit. I can't read fiction anymore because every single time something gets said that I'm like, wait a minute, is that based in reality? Is that really a fucking thing? I'm off and I put the book down and I never come back.
Right.
Well, I'm the poster boy for ADD. You know, I had severe ADD as a young man.
I think all four of us do, to be honest with you, Joe. I mean, it's like, that's probably why none of us can ever shut up talking about things. Well, I always talk over everybody, but I'm just saying.
No, my brain moves 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I'll be reading 3 books at once. Yeah. And then what happens is one of them piques my interest more. So I put the other ones on the back burner. But I'll tell you one that is very, very interesting that I'm reading now. And it's not a thick book at all. I should have been done with it right away. But it's a famous psychologist from, I believe he's from the Netherlands, Matthias Desmet. He's pretty popular.
Yeah.
The book is called The Psychology of Totalitarianism.
Oh.
And it's
sounds
really interesting. And he's a really interesting writer, the way he breaks shit down. So that one, when I'm done with it, I'll let you guys know if I think it's worth the read.
Please do. Yeah, I love books, you guys. I wish I could read like I used to. I mean, I started when I was a kid with this shit. I think I told DA when I first met him on the first panel we did, Encyclopedia Brown. I read those when I was a kid, and that was my introduction to mystery and crime. You know what I mean? And then, of course, the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew shit. I still, my 19-year-old kid, I went through my streaming service and found all the old 1970s and 80s Hardy Boys episodes. I'm like, you gotta watch this, and he's looking at me going, where's the AI? I'm like, shut up. You know, it's all good stuff. So I've been in it forever. I used to love it. And I fall asleep now when I read. So it'll take me a while to get through these books. But see, what I read, the excerpts that I read online about with Framed and all that stuff, it looks so good that I think I'll make myself stay awake to read through it. So
it is so good.
I'm on the third. I heard you talking about it. I'm on the good way
third
through
case.
The third chapter, the one about that coroner guy, the medical examiner.
Yeah.
And it's a really good book. I mean, I think it's one that people would blow through it pretty quick, to be honest.
Because you're nonstop interested in it. It's just like, what the fuck?
You want to know what happens with the next case, right?
I consume like several audiobooks a week though, because I can get away with that at work.
Yeah.
So I'd rather read personally, like an actual book.
Yeah. Scooby.
Pamela said something about Scott said, yeah, I love Scooby-Doo. I still do.
Yeah, and the problem I have, like I said, I mean, what I like to do is, one, I like to read these books that we're all talking about, but then I'm a teacher at heart. So when I read something and I'm like, wait a minute, that's something that people need to talk about. We need to talk about. So I'll highlight a portion, and then I want to get on YouTube and be like, wait a minute, guys, this fucking sentence says it all. Like, and so that's what I do is I go through these books, and what I do is I read a chapter, I highlight the stuff, and then I go do a video and I basically read my highlights, and then I riff on it and end up talking for like 3 hours for every chapter of a book. And I'm like, well, this is going to take a lot of time.
Well, DA, you got the drone license now. Now you got to get the private investigator's license.
I want that. I do want that. Yes, I do.
Somebody told me to do the same thing, and I've been thinking about it. My wife even said I should do it, and I've been thinking about it.
I mean, you guys would be perfect for that. I mean, you already know how to dig like motherfuckers. Right. So
I already started the process, but they won't talk to me. Maybe because they don't want the competition. But here's the thing: in order to get a private investigator's license, you have to spend X number of hours doing things like either having worked in law enforcement or under the tutelage of a current private investigator who has a license or whatever. And so ChatGPT was advising me, like, how do you get into getting your private investigator's license? And they said this: step one, go find a private investigator in your area and ask if you can do free work for them in exchange for your hours. You put in some hours, stake in a house or whatever that they're looking for. You log hours, and they teach you some of the do's and don'ts and what your rules are. And you put that towards when you get your degree. And I've reached out to multiple private investigators, and no one will even respond to me. Probably because they're like, fuck you, I don't need another competition.
I don't need somebody competing with me, right? Yeah.
So good luck with that.
That would be, I mean, we kind of do it now, is you know what I mean, in a sense, but still.
You guys would have access to a lot of
different tools,
databases
stuff,
and
yeah.
tools that it's harder to get access to, and that would be dope, man. If I had the time, I would totally do something like that.
And it's funny because I just said I'm done with tests, but I would say if I could get myself started on the test for the private investigator's license, I might do it. The problem is you need to have a private investigator's license for whatever state you're in. So if you want to investigate in a certain state, then you got to get their private investigator's license.
Right.
What the hell's this?
This is a pen. Amanda asked to see it. Tomboy made this. She's a crafting person. So.
Oh, nice.
That's very
cool.
Yeah, she does all sorts of crafting. Anyway, about that. Yes, that's it. That's my pen. I have a bunch of Scooby-Doo stuff, but no, I'd love to do that, you guys. I would love to do that. And I told, it's kind of a pipe dream, that I would like to, when she is able to retire, get the whole RV thing hooked up, and you know, the youngest one's 19, going on 20 now, so bye-bye. You can go do your own thing, buddy, and hit the road, and we could travel around and cover these cases and do other cases and stuff as a PI. That'd be amazing, but.
We've talked about on our show, this is maybe a little bit too much for the audience, but I want to know this is the kind of things we brainstorm. We thought, well, what if we as a channel hired a private investigator to look into a particular thread that we're trying to pull, and then see if they let us shadow them and go with them on their investigation to kind of learn the business a little bit, maybe even YouTube it and talk about the whole process. So we might try to do something like that. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I'd like to get the license myself, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, go ahead, Joe.
I looked into getting on the inside, and I looked at jobs at the CIA because I just wanted to get in there and like find out about all the fuckery, but I never went through with it. They'd never fucking take me. There's no way.
It's funny you mentioned that because the whole reason I had dreams, Joe, until I realized that they shattered my dreams. So the whole reason I started a job a while ago, and I had to get a Q clearance, which is a top secret clearance with the Department of Energy. And I thought to myself, well, this is cool. I'll get top secret clearance. I'll have access to top secret information. And it's not because I would ever share it, because I won't share government secrets. You take an oath. I keep my oath serious. So I made a promise I wouldn't share those things. So that wasn't the issue. What I want to do is I just want to know for my fucking self. Like, I just want to know. I just want to know for my fucking self. Like, I don't have to tell anybody dick. I just want to see it. And then I thought to myself that they gave me a promotion, and they're like, well, now you need to get an SCI, which is a secret compartmentalized, and it's like above top secret shit, working for the intelligence agencies. And I thought to myself, this is it. I'm going to know all about the aliens that have been invading our planet. I'm going to fucking talk about the secret UFO plan. I'm going to fucking know it all. Yes. You don't get to fucking know dick. Everything's compartmentalized. Everything's stovepiped. Nobody knows what anybody's doing.
Nobody knows anything, right? That's it.
You get little hints about what's going on, but you never fucking can put the pieces together. It's worse on the inside in some regards than it is on the outside. But,
if you guys want to read a book, and this goes out to all of you guys and the Dan and the meatballs, that'll fucking bowl you over. The book is called The CIA as Organized Crime.
Yeah,
I've heard about that.
Oh man, let me tell you, you want to. It's another one of those books. It gets a little dense because obviously it's a very deep topic. But you said that you talked about the compartmentalization, DA, and that book exists because of that.
Sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead, Dago.
There's a documentary out. I can't think of the damn name of it, but it's almost the same as the title of what you just said. And I know I've heard about the book, but the documentary I watched, it was like 3 hours long. I mean, I fell asleep and woke up and it was still on, and I had to go backwards and watch it again. It was wow. I'll just put it that way. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
As a micro example of stovepiping and stuff like that. I worked on the Hanford project in Richland, Washington, outside in the Hanford area, where they basically helped create the bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I think only actually one of them was actually primarily made in White Sands outside of the Hanford area. But all of those people were working on shit and lied to about what they were doing. And other labs across the country were working on the bomb, and nobody knew we were working on the bomb because every single person had their individual piece, and they're just like, oh, I'm just making some, some plutonium pucks or hydrogen pucks, or not hydrogen pucks, but you know what I'm saying? Like they'd have their independent piece, right? And nobody knew what was going on. Only the really, really top secret in the know guys knew that we're going to assemble all these things together, and it's going to make a giant bomb, and we're going to drop it on a city and kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And
that's
so,
how they do it, though. That's exactly how
right.
they do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of brilliant when you think about it, because if you
Yes.
want truths, this is where I get into arguments with people online. They go, for years and years, people would say, well, if there's all these conspiracies going on, how come nobody comes forward? And I said, people come forward all the time. They either end up dead or they get attacked and marginalized, and they go crazy, and all this shit happens to them.
They get into
look
some
at the guy
mysterious...
what's the dude from OpenAI, the whistleblower.
And look,
guy.
and it's also by design for several different reasons. If we're doing sketchy, illegal shit, let's say, just as a hypothetical, that our government was doing sketchy, illegal shit,
which they'd never do. They'd never.
No.
Obviously, we would never do that. But let's say they did. Let's say in a weird world that maybe they did illegal shit. They give you plausible deniability, right? Joe's working on this, and you would never know that you're part of something horrible. And if anything ever horrible happens, you got plausible deniability. Like you were totally involved in that, but you don't know you were totally involved in that. So you could be like, man, I didn't fucking know that was going on, but you did sort of, because you were working on it, but you didn't know what you were working on.
Right.
So,
or let's go to the darker side, the operations, right? In operations, an analyst might be given a body of work to work on. They may not know what the big picture is. In operations, they may tell you this guy is a terrorist, this guy is a spy, a double agent, whatever. And somebody may end up taking out somebody that was just a whistleblower,
right?
Or something like that.
Exactly. A whistleblower. You tell them that something else, they think it's totally noble to kill that guy. Then later on, and to be fair, unfortunately, I don't want to get on a side tangent. It happens a lot in military. A lot of military people become disillusioned when they realize I was killing people for something that they told me that I thought I was fighting for your freedom. I thought I was fighting for your rights. And really what I was fighting for is so that the oil company could make more money taking over the oil fields in Kuwait or whatever. Like and then these people start getting disillusioned and they come back with PTSD because they're like, I just fucking killed people so some rich bastard could make more money. It wasn't at all about what I thought I was signing up for.
What you just said, it's funny because I watched a documentary probably 5 years ago now, where this guy did a whole bunch of research and found all these people that were involved in like the Manhattan Project and the Philadelphia experiment and stuff like that years and years ago. And it was the same scenario. There's like one or two main people involved in the reproduction or the production of this big situation, and 250 other people that are just pawns that have no idea what they're doing. One guy may stand there and be writing down some kind of a computer program with no idea what the hell he's writing, hands it off to this other guy who takes it to this other guy, who takes it to this other guy, who takes it to this other guy, and nobody knows what the hell they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's designed that way. And
it's crazy.
And as Joe said, really, it's brilliant. I mean, that's how it's how you keep secrets, right? Because you can't, if people don't know what they're doing, then you don't have to worry about your secret getting out because nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
Well, another thing that's very relevant with cases and true crime and all these types of things is that the agencies, let's just say, to reinforce the plausible deniability idea, they use contractors or NGOs. So they'll use front companies and NGOs and contractors that if shit goes off the rails, they can say, well, we didn't tell them to do that. They went rogue. Right. They went rogue, man. Like,
and
or
proof
this
that
company,
they didn't. Exactly.
This bank or this organization that's really a CIA front company. Well, that gives them plausible deniability. We just were funding them. We had nothing to do with it. We
didn't know what they were doing. Yeah.
No, we had no idea. But, the Phoenix Project in Vietnam. Oh, no, they were just, following orders. We didn't know what was really going on. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. Plausible deniability.
was it what the hell's his name? Jesse Ventura. I'm sure you guys remember him.
Oh yeah.
Jesse,
Yeah.
he was doing something, and he's very blunt and basic. I can't remember what the hell it was I was watching. He was talking. He was looking into something, and he goes, "I can't find out a goddamn thing. Nobody knows nothing. It's ridiculous. I've talked to everybody you can fucking talk to, blah blah." You know, he would go off and this and that. And nobody knows a damn thing. I'm done. I washed my hands of it, and then he turns around, and 10 minutes later, it's like, "But I can't let it go." And he goes right back into it. You know. Like, okay,
listen, I met a guy when I was in my 20s through the job that I had. I worked for a big corporation, large corporation, and he was one of the guys who was like a consultant for the company, and like an outside consultant. And he lived near me, so he would invite me over to do like trainings and things like that. And he was cool as shit. He had a gorgeous house. We'd have a few beers, you know, and we'd go over the materials and stuff like that. And it turns out this guy was a Navy SEAL in Vietnam. And he told me basically flat out, because he liked me and I had hung out with him several times. He's like, we were killers. He's like, basically, that is what we were. He's like, we were sent there to be assassins. And he goes, but, you know, at the time, that's what you thought you were doing. You thought you were doing the right thing.
For the good, yeah.
And he said, he goes, I've come to terms with it. Now I'm older, but, and I was young. I didn't understand the magnitude of what went on with the Navy SEALs, the frogmen in Vietnam. Like I didn't understand.
Here's the thing, as a nod to those in the military, here's the thing. The people who, let's say, military people went in to fight for their country and they got manipulated into fighting a war for somebody's financial interest. Right. That's not on them. They went into it for the right reasons, and they do deserve, you know, some thanks for doing the right thing. And believe me, they probably had no fucking clue what they were really doing. So when we talk about these things, we're not trying to shame the soldiers. The soldiers are pawns in a much bigger game. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the soldiers, and the soldiers are doing things for largely for noble purposes. And I think that don't realize sometimes what they're doing. And so it's like, you can simultaneously say, hey, thank you for your service and what you did, even if what they did was probably for somebody's bankroll and not for what they thought they were fighting for. But
and in some senses, it's probably better for them that they don't know some of the things that they know, because you know, in the long run, it is better off for them if they can't ever, like you guys said, plausible deniability, and they can't be affected, you know, emotionally or mentally, possibly, if they have no clue what they're doing, and unless they find out after the fact, you know what I'm saying? But still,
right.
Yeah, I support the military. I support the troops big time. A lot of my friends and family members were, you know, military, career, some of them career military. Right. And so I can say I support the troops, and I do, but I don't necessarily support what the government does.
The government's use of the troops. Yes.
It's because if you believe you're serving the country and you believe in it and you believe in the Constitution, and you're doing what you believe is a noble thing. And if you're just a cog in the wheel, man, we all are, man. We're all working stiff. So I'm a working stiff, you know. But it's just. Go ahead, Dago. I'm sorry.
It's that. No, it's not you. It's me. I always interrupt people because I always think of shit, and if I don't say it, I'll forget it. It just makes me mad. What you just said kind of hits a nerve, because I fully support the military and everything they do for this country, and then I just think that they're all treated so badly. You know, there's vets that are sleeping on the sidewalk on the outside of the White House, guys, and that they have made this. That could be the one person that helped to make sure that we're still here free. Okay. And it just bothers the hell out of me. They do not make them right.
I believed, I've talked about this before. I've had arguments with people. In my opinion, this might sound dramatic. I think you serve the country. You should get out and you should have a fucking 6-figure job guaranteed. You should never pay a fucking dime and wait an extra day for healthcare. You should be guaranteed. You know, I know they have the GI Bill, you know, your education. It should be all that and more. Yeah. Because the fucking bankers and the people that work for these big fucking corporations, they make fuck tons of money.
Yes.
And I lived in an area in New Jersey where it's all big pharma, huge compounds. I mean, fucking compounds. And I know a lot of people who worked on Wall Street and big pharma because of where I'm from, and they get paid a fuckload of money. And soldiers like literally go to serve our country, oftentimes away from home for long stretches of time. And they come back, and then you hear these fucking stories about all the shit they have to deal with. This is fucked up. Sorry, I just had to.
You're
get that
right.
off
You're
my
right. I
chest.
mean,
No, you're right.
they should have free medical. They should never ever have
Yep.
to worry about being homeless or having
Nope.
transportation. They should never have to worry about going without any kind of food or financial aspect and nothing. Never. You
I have to tell
defended
you-
the country. End of story. That should all be all it takes. Go ahead. Sorry.
I have to tell you, like I've had some trauma the last couple of nights. I guess that's the best way to say it, on the Topeka shooting, because that didn't have to happen.
Right.
And
No.
I think to myself
Not at
how
all.
much we let that guy down, because I just feel like he was having a bad episode, a bad moment, and we fucking failed, and all we did is escalate that shit. And I think the part that's been giving me the hardest moment, assuming that was Kopaka, assuming it was, there was a moment that I just can't get out of my head. That's so fucking tragic. Because I imagine myself in the situation. There's that moment where it sounds like he says, "Are we really going to do this?" And then he's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Okay, then." And there's almost a sound of defeat, like, "Okay, then." Like, he fucking knows he's about to die.
Yeah.
It's like they're going to charge him, and he's like, "Are we really going to do this?" And he's hoping they're going to say no. "Are we really going to do this? Are you sure?" Okay, because he's fucked. And I'm just like, fucking, how tragic was that fucking moment? Like, it didn't have to happen.
I'm glad you said that, because the problem on top of that, Lee, is that he's already injured mentally. Like, he has brain injury. He has a chronic brain injury, folks, from being over in Afghanistan, again, defending our country. And these fuck off, ignorant ass cops don't give two shits about him because they're laughing at him. They're laughing at the situation. They're challenging him. They're not even looking at him with the respect that he deserves for doing what he's done. They don't care. And that is what makes me sick.
Well, what do you guys think about it now? We talked about this. Do you think he was taken out earlier and all the rest of it was just a dog and pony show to put on
It's starting to look that way.
Yeah.
Because
I've been running it through.
it
It has to be that way. It feels like.
Look,
it doesn't look normal any other way.
I have to say, like, I go by my gut instincts, and some of the dialogue that we all listened to sounded contrived to me. And I don't know why it did. I listen and I try to suss things out. I know human behavior. I know people. That's what I've done my whole life. I know people. And I got a vibe from a lot of the dialogue that it was contrived. Now, if he was in fact hypothetically taken out earlier and the rest of it was just covering their asses, or that shit was added later, as we know, the body cam footage and the surveillance footage seems to be a pattern of fuckery, right? So that's what I came away. I was flabbergasted while we were listening to that shit. Like, that's the way it would have been handled. But the only conclusion I can come to is the reason it sounds like horse shit is because shit went down earlier and they had to, or they came back later and altered the footage.
I mean,
and added shit to it.
If you look at when I was running mine and Lee was running his, nothing else makes any sense, Joe. I mean, they should have lined up side by side. We should have been hearing everything that Lee played for us in the video I was playing at the same time, and you didn't hear a damn bit of it. It makes zero sense other than what you just said. So,
and it is on my priority list, by the way. Whether they're going to respond to it or not, I am going to. By the way, did you have a chance at all to look into the original file source so we can try to do that? Because I am planning on doing that.
I sent Lena an email. She's always busy, so I'm just waiting to get something back on that to see if she can give me like an idea as to where the original source came from.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt that is original footage. I know she
Yeah.
didn't alter it.
No.
But when I'm citing a letter, I need to be able to tell them the actual file name and what
Yeah.
agency it came from, because I can almost guarantee you that has to be fuckery. It has to be. There's
It,
no
it,
other
it doesn't look
explanation.
any other way, right?
Yeah,
And I know
there's no
I remember
explanation.
her talking about FOIA when she FOIAs everything, and when she did, that's when she had that. So that has to be where it came from. But again, to make what you're doing happen, I understand. I'm just waiting to see what she says. But no, I agree with you. It is absolutely
and the whole, you know, I don't know. I'm just going by my instincts. I don't obviously have a definitive idea because there's so many different angles, just like the Idaho 4 case. But it's like, it's pretty fucking weird that MPD was there and that Payne was there. I'm not even law enforcement. I can quickly discern how stupid it is to not include somebody who was in the same combat unit in the 82nd Airborne. That's very specific. To not bring that guy in and try, if in fact what we saw was any of it was real, to not bring him in and have him try to talk the guy down.
Even if they
mind.
weren't in the same unit, Joe, the fact that they were both, because like SRB had said, her husband was 82nd as well as a good friend of mine that was 82nd. Even if they weren't in the same unit by some chance, I'm not saying they weren't. They were. That was already proven. But the fact alone that they were both 82nd Airborne out of 300,000 other guys, they still have the same training background. They still have the same basic thought processes when it comes to that. And he could have spoken to him and talked him down. And again, guys, that would be if that's what your goal was. And I think every one of the four of us here can agree that they went into that situation with nothing as a goal other than to escalate the situation to the point that they have to take him out. That's exactly how I see it.
Yep. Well, one of the things, just for curiosity's sake, if anybody in the chat has dug into this, I have not. Do police forces use special forces guys in their training at all for training exercises? I would like to know, because it could be like, we could find out information that yes, they do that.
I mean, I know. Yeah, it's a good question. I know that I've seen they'll have special forces come in and train cops in hand-to-hand fighting and stuff like that, techniques, whether it's a regular thing or not, but like teaching them Krav Maga. The hand fighting shit and stuff like that, and close fighting. I've seen special forces come in and train the cops on some basic hand-to-hand, how to pin people, how to get them down quickly and stuff like that. And so there is some interaction on that already. I can say that I've seen that for a long time. How deeply embedded special forces are with police. I mean, a lot of people who come out go into law enforcement after they come out of the military as well, and so they could have been special forces trained as well when they went into that, or maybe part of the SWAT team. An elite sniper on the SWAT team might be a former military sniper. Wouldn't be I would imagine all that's for sure.
And there's definite training, guys. Oops, sorry, Robin, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's a difference when somebody comes out of the military. There's a difference in that kind of, for lack of a better word, that kind of training and the kind of training that a police officer has, because the police that are here are mainly what you would call peacetime. So police are trained differently than a lot of ways. So just because you're in the military doesn't mean you're going to make a good police officer. And I think that's something that they need to take a look at, is that just because you're in the military and you're special forces, that's great. That's wonderful. I'm seriously, like, that's something to be proud of. Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be able to turn that around and look at policing in the way that police are generally trained here. So I think maybe police departments need to be a little bit more careful, because what I'm thinking is, if there were guys on the SWAT team there that night who were military, why didn't one of them say, hey, let me talk to this guy?
That's a great question. And not even to add to that, Robin, like I saw somebody in the chat mention something along the lines and it brought something to my mind again. These guys are trained, snipers are trained, and sharpshooters are trained like to an amazing level to do certain things. Okay. They could have shot him. They could have maimed him. I'll put it that way. They didn't have to go for a kill shot if that was the goal, was to shut him down. That is again another point that tells me they wanted him gone. They could have shot him in the arm or shoulder or just to shut him down temporarily so they could storm him. They didn't even try to do that, guys. That's the problem.
No.
And this is what sucks, because I mean, some people have accused me lately of starting to turn into a conspiracy theories channel, and I don't want to be that. I'm not a conspiracy theory channel. Having said that, if I were to rearrange, if we go by what we saw the other night, that your footage, for example, that you showed at the same time doesn't match up with the video that I showed. So that those events didn't happen because it couldn't have so they've rearranged something. Here's what I would guess would have happened. I told you before, somebody early comes on, at least it seems like, unless they fucked with that timeline too, early came on and said, well, we've got attempted murder here, so we can shoot him. They started to outline very early all the reasons why they could shoot Kopaka. I think that thing happened very, very early. And then I think there's a possibility, I'm just saying it's possible. Somebody wanted him dead. They made it happen very, very quickly by saying, hey, look, this guy's already threatened to kill people, take him out, kind of thing. But then they felt like this is not going to go well. It looks like we shot too early. So would they have gone to the level of faking a standoff and no escalation to fake words like, we've never heard him say? He just said he's going to start killing people in the parking lot, giving them a pretext to shoot him so they can give the story of, oh yeah, we shot him after a long time of giving him plenty of time, because maybe they didn't give him a long time. Maybe they rushed in and they killed him really early, but they wanted everybody to think, hey, we gave him plenty of time and he was escalating and he was saying more and more inflammatory things. And so did they have to go back after the fact and go, we fucked up killing him too quickly. We got to come up with a story that made it look like we gave him plenty of chances.
To avoid a detailed AID investigation, I would imagine, yeah.
But that's,
well, guys, DA, you say people accuse you of being a conspiracy theory channel. Well, what the fuck do you think we're doing here? All the fuckery in the Idaho 4 case is conspiracy. When you're covering shit up, when more than one person are colluding to carry out something and hide it from the public, that is by definition a conspiracy. So, you're
100% right. And the book framed that's a conspiracy. When you have a detective that's putting 7 people in jail who had nothing to do with the crime, and knowing they don't, and just putting them away, that's a conspiracy to deceive the public about people. So you're right. I mean, it is at the end of the
guys,
day,
what was one of the prominent theories early on? What I recall, I remember 2 theories very early on from day one of the Idaho 4 case that were very prominent. The drug angle, drug hit or something related to drugs,
retaliation,
and
for
the
the
frats,
drugs.
right?
Yep, and the frats.
Yes.
2 things. Let's just do a quick little flashback. 2 things that the school would want covered up.
Yep.
Right?
Both.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, you might say, Kopaka, let's just say he was not at all involved in the crimes themselves. But again, we're hypothesizing, right? What if he knew information that was dangerous?
Bingo.
Right.
And he was somebody that maybe he's going through some flash, he was obviously having issues due to his combat deployments. Right. Well, someone like that could be a threat to certain things if they know information that people don't want to get out. That's not, to me, that's not like a crazy conspiracy theory. I mean, I could sit here for 5 hours and give you examples of people that got involved with shit and they had information that certain entities didn't want to get out and bad shit happened to them. I mean,
and people, I mean, you may not see the connection, but literally the term conspiracy is a legal term. Conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to defraud the public. Conspiracy is a legal thing that we acknowledge. It's funny that we've turned the word conspiracy into a shunned word. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Our legal system literally has crimes for conspiracy anytime two people or more get together to deceive somebody about what happened to a thing. You've got a conspiracy. It doesn't have to be a crazy conspiracy.
I mean, I just think it's always like, that's what we're doing, right? And I've said this for how long? In my personal opinion, I don't think the truth, the real straight up truth, will come out. We'll get closer to it. I do believe that. But I don't think we're ever going to get a disclosure unless a whistleblower comes forward. I mean, an official disclosure.
Probably not. Right. No, I agree. And if we were all to sit here and say, okay, all right, guys, we all came in here one day and said, that's it. We're done with this. Brian did it. We accept it. It's done. It's over. Brian Koberger did it with his stupid ass white Elantra and clip-on fog lights, whatever the fuck else you want to call it. Okay, we did it. It's done. It's over. Are you okay? Is everybody okay with that now? Is that all right? They would bitch about something else at that point. Okay, that's it's just how it is. Period. You can accept it or not accept it. It is truly what it is. Unfortunately, there are no more black and white, cut and dry cases, very few at least, that it's just that guy robbed the bank and he shot those two guys. It's on camera. End of story. Even okay, the Letcher County stuff that I cover and Lee covers as well with Kevin Mullins and Mickey Steins, the sheriff that shot the judge. It's on camera. We've watched it, guys. Like, it's there. Okay.
Yeah.
There are still people, I'm not throwing names out, that have said that didn't happen. Because you didn't see blood, because this didn't happen, because that didn't happen. We watched the shit on camera. End of story.
Yeah.
You can't. Everything's going to have some kind of a twist to it at some point, and nobody is ever going to ever accept everything. They're going to find a way to twist and turn things. So it is what it is. Except
and Dago, I love when you do your little thread pulling thing, because DA, you and I have talked about this a lot.
Yes, sir.
Hours of driving and talking about it. You have to find threads, and you pull the thread, and if the thread unravels and you don't find anything, you move on to the next. That's what investigative journalism is.
Yes.
Right.
What we do. That's what we do.
Is why people are.
That's what Tom O'Neill did in Chaos.
Yeah.
Years of pulling threads.
And this is why some people are busting my nuts, but I've been pulling the Kopaka thread for a straight year, and I'm not done pulling it, because until I know what happened in the Kopaka situation, it's a thread I'm going to keep pulling. Not everybody's pulling that thread. Some of us, I mean, all of us on this panel talk about it, but just like you said, that's a thread. I think there's several threads in the Idaho 4 that I personally want to pull the shit out of. There's other threads I wish you guys, if it's where you have your interest, to pull the thread there, because somebody's going to pull the right thread. It may not be me. It may be somebody else. I don't give a shit who pulls it. I just wanted it to unravel. But
I just pulled a couple more today when I covered the other deaths that could possibly be attached to this case as well, because especially with Lyndon, okay, sorry, I think I had a stroke there for a minute. Anyway. I get all worked up sometimes. If it was an accident like they said it was, why the fuck is everything sealed? Just tell me that right there, okay? And that's why I can't comfortably believe it. So I pulled the shit out of that thread today because it drives me nuts.
Yeah. You have and I listened to you guys. I've been listening before I came on the whole show.
Yeah.
And that would be another example of something that the school would not want to get out if it was fuckery involved, right? And a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's crazy. Why would that? They can't do that. That's crazy." No, when millions and millions of dollars are on the line, please, I don't even want to go down this road, but human lives don't mean anything to the power structure.
Right.
We're not, they don't think like us. They're not like us.
That's why they hire sociopaths, because
they and so if something went down that would have impacted the financial aspects of that school and that area, it would be covered up. It happens all the fucking time. It happens all the time. So that's why I don't subscribe to this, like, people don't like sometimes addressing quote unquote conspiracies, but we are fucking flooded with them every day.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think that's all we're doing. At the end of the day, all we're doing is we're just a bunch of people sitting around having a coffee table conversation in front of thousands of people. But the point being is that this is all this feels like. It feels like we're sitting around at a bar talking about the case openly, like a bunch of friends, right? And why should we be ashamed of that in this country? We should be able to ask questions like, man, what do you think about that case? I think it's full of shit. Like we shouldn't be ashamed about asking questions. Real quick, by the way, before I forget, does our chat see each other, Dago? Because somebody in your chat was asking for my email address.
I just saw that, and I made a mistake, and I put mine in here because I was reading something wrong. Angela, that's not his. That's my email address.
So I put it into my chat, but I don't know because they're in your chat whether they see it. So for those who on your
I'm
side,
gonna copy and paste it on my side.
Okay. It's contact@devilsadvocates.com or .info. Sorry, .info. Sorry, contact@devilsadvocates.info is my primary email address. But I tried to put it on my side, and I was like, well, shit, I'm not sure your chat sees my chat and vice versa. I see it all, but I don't know if they see
contact at what is it again?
Contact@devilsadvocates.info.
Look, I mean, Candace Owens, who's like her or not, she's a big voice. And she has a tip email, tips for her show. And I think that if we keep pulling the threads, eventually some people are going to start reaching out if they ever come across this show or Dago's show or Birdie or whatever.
Yeah.
And yes, I get it. You have to vet a lot of shit and you have to, pull threads to find out if it's legit or not. But there's a lot of stuff, and I always say this, early on in the case, a lot of times information that kind of comes out, if you can sift through it and make sense of it, a lot of times that information is not so far-fetched because it's before all the hoopla of a case takes hold. Yeah. And like, for example, very early on, very beginning of the Idaho 4 case, we all heard the rumor that a driver was dropping somebody off at 1122. It was like a party or something going on there. And I know this place. Yeah, this is like where people go to get drugs. Now this was a rumor. I said that. I was clear about that. But how much more information came out after the fact that somewhat confirms that information? At least on some level.
Well, let me add to that, Joe, real quick. I don't know if you knew this, anybody over here, actually, when that first dropped, it's been a while with the rideshare driver. I had somebody come on my show in my chat that said she was very close friends with Eric Gower. And I did a private phone call with her after. She wouldn't come on panel because she was freaked out. And I had a phone call. She called me on my Google line and we talked, and she described the private driving. Now, this is something to throw out there too, as far as pulling a thread. Okay. That Eric Gower is actually a middle-aged man who is like closer to our age than what the guy that they have. And so is his wife. And he started doing these rideshare things because their only son was killed in a drunk driver accident. So this is why he's doing this. And so on and so forth. And it's nothing there. This person's nothing like who they've given us in the reports and everything else. So it's like, wait a minute. What the hell's going on? You know what I mean? So I've always stuck with who they gave us because it's in the documents. But it makes you think, like, are they screwing with us again? Is it really this person or is it somebody else? Is it, you know what I'm saying? That it goes right back into that pot of what the hell's going on shit. So
I want to ask you a question. Because I had a private conversation with somebody. I'm trying to get us back on screen so I can see you guys in the face while I ask you this question. Damn it! Where's my fucking? Give it back! All right, I can't find it, so apparently I can't look you in the eyes.
I can see you.
I know you can't see me, but listen. Here's somebody and I were having a conversation about an article or that they saw a YouTube video, but I want I want to read to you the description of the video. I'm not going to do this person the justice of giving them the views and the hits on this video, but I want to read the description and I want to ask you a follow-on question after it. This is about Idaho 4. It's called The Dark Side of True Crime, How Idaho 4 Conspiracy Theories Took Over the Internet. And here's the description. Over the last 3 years, the case of Idaho 4 has taken over social media, both good and bad. Recently, however, it has taken on a new life with rampant conspiracy theories, harmful accusations based on nothing but a misunderstanding of documents and legal filings. This video explains the different categories and types of conspiracy creators and how this behavior can be harmful to future criminal investigations. So once again, we apparently don't know how to read legal documents. We're just making accidents with simple to misunderstand reading of the documents, and we're being harmful to the public, telling people shit that's just pure conspiracy theory and all that shit. Is it to you possible that people who have this mentality, it's said all the time, we're harming people. Our crazy conspiracy things are harming lives and impeding investigations, and we're a bunch of idiots that don't know how to read legal documents. We got simple misunderstandings and we're running with it to make money. Is it possible to you at all? This is the theoretical question I want to ask. If something like Richard Allen's case in Adelphi gets overturned and it was a wrongful conviction, or Brian Koberger 5 years from now or 6 years from now gets proven to be not the guy who did it and they overturn that, will any of these people change their mind and go, shit, maybe we were wrong about this being a bad thing? Or will they still just double down and go, all those sons of bitches talking things are harmful to it? Like, will an exoneration of a major case that they say we're all nutbags, if it gets actually proven that we weren't wrong, that there was a miscarriage of justice, will anything change, or will they still just be thinking we're just a bunch of shitholes?
Okay. Are you asking me personally or just all of us?
The whole panel.
I guess
Go first. Go ahead, Dago.
So, no. First off, no. Okay. I don't believe that is what we're doing, because everybody out here has their own mind. Okay. And I say it constantly. I've heard you say it before. I've heard Bertie say it before. I've heard multiple other creators say it. We talk about what we talk about. We show different things. We read through the documents word for word for word. I'm sorry if somebody just misunderstands it, but we also have attorneys that come in here and that walk our code.
Yeah.
We have attorneys that follow us, that help us. We have people like Lucy that understands things like this, Annie, Miss Potts, that explain these things if people don't understand it. But everybody has their own mind. And we tell everybody, listen to what we're saying. Let's talk about it. Look at this, look at that. But in the end, I want you to make your own perceptive decision on what you believe this is. Don't take my word for this. Don't take exactly what I'm saying as to what it is. Okay. We're all talking about it just like anybody else would. But there have been attorneys that have popped in and said, nope, that's right. No, that's right. No, that's right. That's how this is. This is what this says. That's what it says. And they're still helping in that aspect, and they're still making the same decisions. What I believe is there's going to be a handful of people that will come back and say, you know what? You guys were right. I'm sorry. But there's going to be handfuls of people that are going to say, nope, fuck you. I was right. I don't care what you say. You're crazy, blah, blah, blah. Only because of their pride, their egos, and because they're stubborn, Lee. That's my answer to that.
What do you think, Robin? Do you think that if there comes a wrongful conviction overturning of Richard Allen or Brian Koberger 5 years from now, will any portion of these population change their mind and go, maybe the people who question things aren't idiots after all, and maybe I need to rethink, or are they just going to like double down on their shit?
I think that is going to depend on how the mainstream spins it.
Well, we know how mainstream spins everything. I swear,
right,
will mainstream ever acknowledge they made a mistake?
Will there? That's like the $1 million question. Is there going to be any one of them that will say, "Whoa," or are they just? I have my doubts there. Now, as far as just your average citizen, or professionals, whatever, I think there will be a handful of them. But how influential can they potentially be? There's a saying that it takes 4% of a population, just 4%, to come together to start affecting change.
Yeah.
If we could, and see, that's where what we're doing is so important. I want people to listen to this. 4%. That's all it takes to really start affecting change in a population. So if 4% of people in this country really understood what exactly is happening, why we are so invested in these cases, then a lot of shit would start changing with this stuff.
And we have the voice and the tool, Robin. This tool right here is the
We have
best
the
tool
platforms.
that you could ever have to be effective and to be the change that needs to happen in this country to make some things different. It just it has to happen. That's all.
And I know Joe probably wants to weigh in, but I want to add another point because Dago, you said this and it's true. We've had attorneys on, criminal defense attorneys, family law attorneys. We've had multiple attorneys on the show. And so for those who would throw an accusation like these guys, you guys are just people who misunderstand legal documents. I've read legal documents in front of an attorney on our show and said, am I wrong here? Did I miss something? They're like, no, you're not wrong. That's exculpatory evidence all day long. Like I've got attorneys who are telling me you're not reading it wrong. Your questions are right. You should ask those questions. That's bullshit. Like we've had attorneys who say you're not reading it wrong. So for those who think we're just reading shit wrong, well, there's attorneys who disagree with you that we're
guys. We look into what we read too. Don't get that wrong. If we don't understand something, I promise you, Lee's never even told me he does this, and I'll tell you he does it. If we read something and it's not understood, I promise you he's just like me. He'll go, what the fuck? And go Google and look into what the hell this means or that means to make sure that what we're thinking is right or wrong before we even try to tell you something sometimes, because we don't want to put misinformation out. There's already too much confusion with it. So therefore, in turn, no. Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
No, good points. I mean, one of the things I've come to know, especially over the last like 10 years, is that there is a certain percentage of the population, a pretty significant percentage of people that become very threatened when official narratives are questioned. And it's a normal thing. I've talked about it before. It's cognitive dissonance. People have an idea about the world, about certain things, and about themselves. And, you know, if people consider themselves intelligent and educated, and they have a view of the world and the way things work and institutions, it literally is a psychological mechanism that shuts down critical thinking if their belief system is threatened. And I just think that we're reaching a time in history now where a chunk of the population, it's called, a lot of people call it the Great Awakening. They're starting to see this sort of charade we've been living under and with relation to governments and power structures. And so I do believe that a lot of people, it's very threatening to them. Now, there's also grifters that have they have a motivation to push certain narratives, either to gain access to people or to get more followers, because it's widely known that most people fall into this category. So I think there's that segment of the population that what I call free thinkers. And free thinkers are not afraid to pick these old belief systems apart.
Right.
And it's hard to be that way in the world that we live in. But I think that there is a wave of awakening that's happening. I feel it. I see it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And so I do believe that we are a threat to a segment of the population. And so we, as in free thinkers, because it's scary for a lot of people. And I have a lot of friends and family that are this way. And so I was like that at one point in time, you know, but I had an awakening. And once you can't go back once you have the awakening. You can't unsee what you see.
No.
And I think that there's always going to be people that shit on people who are digging into things, and it's going to be that way for quite a while. But I do believe that there is a growing critical mass of free thinkers out there.
I sure hope you're right, Joe. I there's a part of me that feels like first of all, statistics are saying mainstream media is losing the population. Like the population is losing trust in mainstream media. There's a lot of people, a lot now, who are saying, I don't even watch mainstream media. No, I can't watch the bullshit anymore. So that's the start of the awakening. And then you've got people like our channels who are educating people, and they're saying, you know, I'd rather hear what Joe has to say from State of the Deep than fucking, you know, Anderson Cooper. So, I mean, it is starting. I think it is starting to change. I don't know how quickly it's going to change, but it feels like it does start to change.
You know, one thing that I'm sorry.
Just one quick thing I wanted to add to what DA said. Be aware, folks, because the mainstream media now is sending people over to, you know, podcasts YouTube, and social media.
Yep.
Because they know where the trend is going.
Yes.
So a lot of these big channels and content creators are paid. They are paid. This has been proven. They are paid to push narratives now because they know the mainstream media, the legacy media, is losing that propaganda war.
Right.
And so
yeah,
that's just something to add to it.
One thing I'm going to say real quick about that too, that it kind of bothers me. Okay. I have people that have followed my channel that come, they watch, they talk, they listen, we talk together, all that kind of stuff. And they'll agree with things I'm saying, and they'll follow right along with what I'm saying until I say something that they disagree with. Okay. And I'm sticking to what I'm saying because I'm reading it from a document per se. Okay. I have to go with the documents, folks. That's the most factual information we ever get. Whether it's right or wrong, I have to believe it because I can't go beside that and say, nope, this is what it is because somebody told me it was. It says it in this document. I'm going to go with the document, folks, because that's what everybody deserves, is the closest to the truth. And then that person all of a sudden says, I'm no good. I'm talking out the side of my mouth, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that kind of stuff, you guys. That's not what this is about. Okay. You either agree or disagree, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with me. In fact, I don't want everybody to sit like drones and agree with everything I say, but don't turn me into a villain because I disagree with what you're saying because I'm reading it from a factual document. That's not what this should be like. And I see that being done more and more and more along those lines. And that we have no choice but to read from these documents. People can tell me something all the time, but if I have no way to verify that what they're telling me is real, I don't want to confuse people anymore. So I'm going to stick to that document and just move forward with it is all I'm saying. And I've seen other creators go through the same thing. You know, we do the best we can when we do what we do. There are channels that are purposely putting out bullshit. I'll say that. And there are channels that are purposely out here doing certain things because all they're doing it for is the entertainment value. That's not why we're here. There's a few of our channels that are truly here just to get truth and to find real justice in the end of this, period. So what I'm saying is I'm not trying to be nasty when I say what I'm saying. I'm just saying, please, like, understand that we can only do what we can do. And we have to, you know, if Lucy tells me something, that's a bad one to use. If half people tell me something, and not have an actual receipt to say, this is where I got this information from, so on and so forth, to prove I can't go with that. I have to go with what is in the document. And then if it changes, of course, I'm going to back that up. Until then, I have to do that. So don't be mad at me for it. It's not my fault. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm just trying to say I've seen this happen in my channel, Lana's channel, Pob's channel, Birdie's channel, many other channels, guys. We do the best we can do with what we have, which is very little. So anyway.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I take it personally when, you know, this person does the whole we're just misunderstanding legal documents.
Yes.
I'd love to see how they think I've misunderstood the legal document. Show me something that I've said when I'm reading you a legal document and told you what that means, where I got it wrong, and explain to everybody how I got it wrong. Because I bet you can't, because I don't think we get it wrong. Most of the time we don't get it wrong.
No.
Most of the time when we fact checked ourselves with a lawyer and said, hey, did I get that right? They're like, yeah, you totally got that right. So where do you think I'm misunderstanding the legal documents? You know,
guys, the one thing that I believe in strongly is if people are being authentic to what they really believe, we're going to all get shit wrong. We're going to all throw shit out there sometimes that may not be on the money, you know, but the reality is if you're pulling threads and your motivations are authentic, then
Which I think, yeah.
that's all you can do, man. Because I can tell you, I stopped watching the mainstream media a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because and now if I ever see clips of it, I can instantaneously tell that they don't believe what they're saying. And so I think if people are really sincere in their efforts and they're authentic, then fuck everybody else that has a problem with people digging into things if it upsets their apple cart, because there's always going to be naysayers out there who are afraid to be proven wrong. And you can't be afraid to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Well said. And by the way, I think for me, I think this is getting to be a great poignant point to end on for the night. I mean, I know Dago's trying to train me to get, longer and longer on these evenings, but how about this? You get to have a much bigger live than me then. So we're talking about the size thing. You can have a bigger live. I tend to start to I don't want to keep stretching this longer and longer. I think we've all set a really cool point to end on, which is that what we're doing makes a difference. That a small shift of, like Robin said, 4%, if you can change 4% of the population's mind on something, you've started to make a movement. And mainstream media is starting to lose some of ground. And now they're starting to move over to YouTube because they realize that if things are shifting, people's minds are starting to open up. And I think that's a sobering thought to realize. We probably should spend a lot less time, and I'm talking to myself when I say this, bitching about what everybody says about us YouTubers. Because that's where I get in the habit of getting pissed every time someone does something like they just did, which is the whole, these people just don't fucking understand shit. And then I get all mad and spun up. I'm like, you know what? Why do I give a shit what that person even said about me?
Right.
I got to stop doing that.
And there's a difference too, Lee, though, to end with. I know we're trying to end. I'm sorry. This is quick.
Yeah.
But speculation is going to happen, whether we've already read, a statement that's actual factual information. You're still going to speculate on different things, guys, period. I mean, you look at a situation, honestly, in this sense, we don't really have a choice but to speculate, to try to come to kind of some solution in our mind.
Because they won't tell us the truth what happened.
Yeah, because they don't tell us the truth. So that's a whole different story. When you speculate on something, there's truly no choice when they're not giving us actual truth. That's all I'm saying.
Right, exactly. That's a great, even better maybe to end on. In Idaho 4, if they hadn't redacted and hidden the entire case from America for 3 years, we wouldn't have had to spend all this time trying to figure out what really happened. If you just fucking had told us what happened and let us see it for ourselves, we could have put this to bed a long time ago. But you're hiding shit, keeping everything redacted, not unsealing shit even after you've got a guilty plea, is the reason why we're still talking about it, because obviously you can't fucking tell the truth, save your ass. So if you try to tell the truth and reason with people and say, hey, look, here it is, we'll just tell you exactly what happened, and we can all go, oh, if I had known that, I would have shut the hell up a long time ago. But you can't do that. Why? Because you are hiding shit.
Yes.
That's what you have to conclude.
Yeah, and just because a guilter comes forth and says, well, this is what it was, and that's all there is because I said so. Okay.
Not good enough.
Show me the proof. That's it.
Right. Show us evidence. All right, guys, thank you so much for being part of this great show again tonight. I'm sorry that I know you probably all want to talk forever, but like I said, I'm exhausted. I had that great win today. I got a test taken. I'm a commercially licensed drone pilot. I can't wait to get my license. In fact, I can't wait to get off the show and go submit my test results so I can get that license in 5 days or so, hopefully, so I can go do this and add more value to the show. So hopefully we'll get that done soon. Thank you all. By the way, just to let you know, public records campaign is going on all the time. I just paid some money to the city of Moscow to get more documents start to get processed for me. Lots of stuff's going on in the background that you guys don't know about. Your money, for those who have contributed to the Public Records Fund in Idaho 4, is going to use you. If you've been watching, we've been breaking down hours and hours and hours of Kopaka shooting videos that came out through public records requests, adding new details and new discussions. I think we are making a difference, guys. I think we really are making a difference. So
I hope.
I agree.
Let's keep up the good fight. Last thoughts, Joe, on the way out. JJ, since there's two Joes, JJ, what do you?
Yeah, well, I'd say, I agree with everything you guys have said about this and process. You have to be okay with disagreeing with people at different times, because a lot of times you'll have an idea, you'll have documents, you'll have facts that back up something, but it's okay to have differing opinions about aspects of a case, because sometimes what happens, some of the facts get proven wrong, right? You have to
Yes.
be able to adapt as you go along. And so I feel very comfortable that everybody that's been on this panel is authentic and sincere, or I would not be able to be a part of it. There's no way.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
And so keep pulling the threads. You guys are crushing it. And I'm here for it, man. You know, I'm here for it. Let's not be afraid to disagree sometimes, everybody. It's okay. And as long as we are authentic and sincere, then I think that shit's okay. So
Thank
keep
you.
pulling
Yeah,
the threads, everybody.
and I love what you said before we go to Dago for his closing thoughts. I love what you said. I don't think any of us would be here sharing the screen with anybody else if we thought that you were unauthentic. If I thought you were unauthentic and just doing shit for click and something like that, you wouldn't be on my show. Dago wouldn't be on the show. Robin wouldn't be on the show. I'm sitting here with you guys because you aren't clickbaiters, and I think you are authentic. And I think every single one of you feel the same way about everybody else that's on this panel. Dago, your closing thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, absolutely what you just said. That's a fact. Same with my channel. I try to have people on there that, I mean, I've given other people the options, but truly, I want people that are authentic, that truly have the same feelings that I do for this case and want to know exactly what the truth is in this, period. Okay. And I appreciate each and every single one of you for having, in a lot of senses, because Lee and I have spoken about this many a times. Our brains, for some reason, seem to be in line. Okay. We think a lot about the same things that we talk about. Okay. They're the same. They go in the same direction. So there, in that sense, that means a lot to me. And that's why I'm very honored to be here. And my panel is always open to anybody that's here with me as well to have those conversations, because in the end, that's truly what we all want, in my opinion. And I'm grateful to each and every one of you guys within the communities here, because they do, or you do, in my opinion, feel the same way that we do. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, everything I do personally, I do it because of that one specific thing. I want to see truth, and I want to see some justice, because this could affect each and every one of us the same way it has done in this case over here, in that case over there. And that is what I'm afraid of, truly and honestly. So again, I'm grateful for everybody in these communities, as well as these three awesome people up here with me, immensely. So thank you all again for being part of this amazing group of people, and having me here and coming to visit me on my channel, and so on and so forth, guys. I appreciate you all so very much.
Absolutely. And Robin, what do you feel about your colleagues here on screen and this whole fight for justice and all that good stuff?
Well, I come at things, I'm sort of a newbie in a way to true crime, being heavily involved in it. Now my fiance, she's okay, we're both 54, and she's been following true crime, I guess you want to call it, since we were like 16. So, but for a lot of years, I didn't, I wasn't really, but this case, okay, Idaho 4 case, kind of did something. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. So please, if you are new to this case or any other case, if you are newly into true crime, don't think that you out there don't have something to offer. Okay. Like I said, 4%, 4%, changing one person's idea, mind, one person at a time, is how movements happen. And just like Dago said, this could happen, what's happening to Brian Koberger, Richard Allen. I mean, all the poor people that are sitting in jail who are innocent. This could be any one of us at any time. And that is scary. And we should be scared yet resolute, and not run scared. That you can be afraid and still be brave. So just, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're here. And I am honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to share this screen with you gentlemen. And I'm so thankful for our communities. I just can't even express that enough. So.
And I appreciate everything all of you guys do in your all different ways. Everyone's got their own little piece in this, but yet we're working together for a common good. And so I love what we're doing. I'm so excited about this next year. I think we got great things. I feel like great things are going to happen this year. Something big's going to happen. I have a weird feeling about it. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for the congrats for those who congratulated me on my drone pilot's license. That means a lot. I'm tired, exhausted. I'm going to go get my stuff submitted, and I'll see you back tomorrow for another Crimes After Dark. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot.
A great night,
Good
everybody.
night.
See you guys.
Thank you all.